The tree of life and the 22 creative forces. We start today at the ninth path, which is TETH. It represents polarities. TETH can represent polarities such as good and evil by the nature of the serpent being both related to the original, to the Oribus, a symbol of wholeness and infinity, and the serpent in the Garden of Eden in Genesis. The imagery of a basket of this is representative of the open container as opposed to the closed container in manifestation of each unique soul in the process of creation. TETH also represents mud, the birth of density and mass, though still nothing is manifested, but now the energetic substance for creation now comes into being, like unused clay before the sculptor gives it form. This letter teaches us to distinguish what we perceive to be good and bad, to strive for the purity of that which is holy and good in our lives. The 10th path is Yod, operation and operator. Yod relates with the hand and speaks to the operation and operator of the world, building upon what come before. There was an ethereal pool that can be used to create things. The primordial mud that can be shaped, and now Yod, which is the hand of the operator, which uses creative power and the intelligence to know how to use the primordial mud which came before. It is the power of spirit to govern, guide, and the material it created. The Yod is drawn all as a dot. It describes that creative came from a single point. The singularity is the essence of all of life. This may be experienced as the singularity in our heart, which brings light into our bodies. And this is the same power of spirit to govern and guide the material universe. 11th path is Kaf, all creative possibilities, including physical matter, but not limited to. Kaf relates to the palm of the hand and makes like an outstretched palm waiting to receive, or an upright palm held high, like a crossing guard moving traffic, or like pushing or invoking something to happen. It is similar to the idea of a container, or relates more to the potential or possibilities of that which can be received by matter, but with the power of spirit, and likewise the way spirit can move matter. It relates to the beginning of formation, or things made more solidified. Now that there is primordial mud and the intelligence of knowing how to use it, this is the actual motion of creation itself. This path holds the space for all created possibilities, including physical matter. Kaf teaches us to shape our character, continually refine ourselves, and bring spirit into the material world. 12th path, Lamed, spiritual learning. Lamed relates with our gold and sometimes staff or needle. This is the symbol of learning As Lamed sits at the center of 22 pathways, it indicates learning at the level of the soul and teaches that spiritual learning is at the heart of human experience. The idea of ox goad repeats at the prodding from the higher source for the soul to learn. The staff relates to the learned sage, and the needle relates to the getting into, like the essence or consciousness, getting into the structure, creation. Lamed simply tells us to strive to learn everything there is to learn and never stop attaining new levels of wisdom. We discover the great meaning of life itself, the never ending expansion of our learned consciousness. The 13th path, Mem, Divine Mother, Shakti. The idea of Mem is related to water and describes the energy which has now become suddenly tangible, not physically tangible, but energy that can be felt. It describes in other systems as chi, light force or vital energy. This is raw energy that can be shaped but lacks solidification. By following this way, Mem has the virtue of consistency and describes a stable intelligence. Mem and water is regarded as a divine mother or Shakti. The universe is the womb of creation, and out of this substance of creation, which we come to be our bodies are mostly water after all. Mem speaks toward balance, emotion, and the power of humility. 14th path is none, something more tangible and solid. None is the path of the fish who travels to the waters of Mem, the idea of something more tangible or solid within the fluidity. The meeting is symbolic of the soul who recognize its infinite nature. It leaves behind the desires of life only to be replaced with the freedom to continuously change form in all of the ways that it can. The process of death and rebirth. None speaks toward the relationship between the body, which is impermanent, and the soul, which is eternal. When learned about flexibility and suppleness, going from with the flow, adapting changes and not resisting the new experiences that come our way. 15th path, Samek, support and upliftment. Samek describes the essence of support, such as that of a pillar that represents the pathway of upliftment. The ideal is the support that is to support that the soul uses to uphold its earthly vessel and vice versa. It is power unused, but Zion previously, however, this time the power has a function. Its function standing still with great strength. The function is the key. This is the power which supports all the processes that lead to something more solid, beginning with form within the waters of potentiality. So it can have the strength to support, to stay manifested. Samek teaches circular thinking, to act for this good of the whole, not seeking for the self or simultaneously in order to know spirit. We must know ourselves. The 16th path is AYIN. illumination with that which is hidden. The letter AYIN relates to an eye and has to do with the illumination of that which is hidden and the observation and prescription of images. These are thoughts of as mental or astral images, the ideas of what still comes to be formed physically. It also describes a focus in that there are infinite number of things that we may focus on, but by choosing our focus carefully, we set our destinies into action. Again, also implore us to open our inner eye and see beyond the physical realm. It also teaches us to pay attention, for conscious attention may very well be of the highest skills we can develop as a species with mind.